Envision a deer taller than an adult human, adorned with antlers broader than a compact car. For millennia, this colossal creature roamed the landscapes of Ice Age Europe, commanding the open fields and icy valleys. It was not mere folklore. It was not a tale. This was the Irish elk, the most substantial deer to have ever existed. Yet, in spite of its impressive stature and might, it disappeared without a trace. Today, we will explore how this giant of the Ice Age thrived, its origins, its influence on modern deer species, and the reasons behind its eventual extinction. Although it bears the name, the Irish elk was not a true elk, nor was it restricted to Ireland. Formerly categorized as Megaloceros giganteus, this enormous deer traversed Europe, Western Asia, and Siberia during the Ice Age. With a shoulder height exceeding 7 feet, it loomed over contemporary deer species. However, its most remarkable characteristic was undeniably its antlers. Extending almost 12 feet from one tip to the other and weighing as much as 88 pounds, these antlers were the largest ever seen in any creature. They were not only astonishing, they represented the pinnacle of evolutionary development. The Irish elk was a member of the Cervidae family, sharing an ancestral lineage with species that are still extant today, such as red deer and fallow deer. For a long time, researchers posited that it was closely allied with modern elk or moose, but fossil and genetic discoveries uncovered a different narrative. Current studies indicate that the Irish elk was more closely connected to fallow deer, sharing comparable skull shapes, antler bases, and patterns of seasonal antler regeneration. Distinctive features, such as broad, palm-like antlers, robust limb bones adapted for expansive terrain, and the annual shedding of antlers, all trace back to shared ancestors. Nevertheless, the Irish elk pursued a distinct evolutionary trajectory, one that amplified these characteristics to an extreme, ultimately rendering it an extraordinary yet unsuccessful offshoot rather than a direct progenitor of contemporary deer. The Irish elk flourished in expansive, open environments where wide grasslands and sparsely wooded regions enabled free movement without hindrance. Dense forests posed risks for an animal sporting massive antlers, making open spaces crucial for its survival. Its diet consisted of grasses, shrubs, and nutrient-rich seasonal vegetation that sustained its considerable physique and the annual regrowth of antlers. Each year, males devoted significant energy to reconstructing these structures, relying on stable climatic conditions and an abundance of nutrients. Provided that the Ice Age climate remained steady, the Irish elk prospered throughout its extensive habitat. The considerable size of the Irish elk masked a physical structure designed for both equilibrium and grandeur. Its long, sturdy limb bones supported a massive body while facilitating steady progress over open fields. The robust spine and shoulder region anchored the musculature necessary for carrying antlers that surpassed those of any other known species. There was a distinct difference in size between the sexes. Males were markedly larger, exhibiting broader necks, denser skulls, and enormous palm-shaped antlers, whereas females completely lacked antlers and had lighter, more streamlined bodies. Their dense bone composition, expanded thoracic cavities, and strong musculature indicate that this species was adapted to meet extreme evolutionary challenges, albeit at the expense of flexibility. The massive antlers of the Irish elk were not evolved for fighting but for showcasing dominance and attraction. During the mating season, males utilized these antlers to draw in females, intimidate competitors, and assert their place in the breeding order. However, the presence of such significant antlers came with drawbacks. The growth and upkeep of these large structures demanded considerable amounts of calcium, phosphorus, and protein. As climate changes occurred and plant life adapted, these essential nutrients became increasingly scarce. What had once assured reproductive success gradually morphed into a liability, placing additional stress on animals already grappling with an evolving environment. The process of reproduction was slow and exacting. Mating took place in the autumn during the rut, with females nurturing a single calf throughout the severe Ice Age winter. Births were strategically scheduled for spring, aligning with the resurgence of plant life. Calves experienced slow development, relying more on hiding and the protection from their mothers rather than on speed or physical strength. Males took multiple years to achieve their full size, with an even longer duration required to produce fully developed antlers. This protracted growth phase meant that the recovery of the population was slow, rendering the species susceptible to heightened environmental challenges. As the Ice Age concluded, humans spread throughout Europe, encroaching on regions long inhabited by the Irish elk. For early hunters, these colossal creatures symbolized an exceptional resource for meat, skins, and materials to craft tools and weapons. Their vast size made them conspicuous across the expansive plains, while human activities gradually altered the landscape through deforestation, purposeful fires, and the competition for available resources. Although hunting alone might not have determined their extinction, the rising human presence exerted unyielding pressure on populations already enduring stress. The extinction of the Irish elk occurred progressively rather than as a result of a singular catastrophic incident. As temperatures increased, forests grew, and open grassland areas diminished, diminishing the habitats that suited the needs of an animal with such large antlers. Nutritional difficulties intensified as plants rich in minerals dwindled, creating challenges for males striving to grow and maintain their antlers. Successful reproduction decreased, populations became fragmented, and ongoing human hunting further depleted the already frail herds. By approximately 7,700 years in the past, the Irish elk had completely disappeared. It did not retreat. It did not persist in concealment. It was lost. Remains of the Irish elk are often discovered in peat bogs throughout Ireland, where chilly, low-oxygen environments have effectively preserved bones and antlers for millennia. Radiocarbon dating has verified that this species existed for a period longer than previously thought, yet not sufficiently long to undergo necessary adaptations. The fossil evidence is unmistakable. The Irish elk is no longer in existence. The tale of the Irish elk imparts a significant lesson. While evolution may promote extreme traits, survival is ultimately reliant on the ability to adapt. Contemporary deer survive by being smaller, lighter, and more agile. The Irish elk, however, did not. In the past, the Irish elk dominated Ice Age Europe with antlers unparalleled throughout history. Currently, only their bones exist,